Hello friends, let's talk about vaginal health. If you're a man watching this, no worries, you can still watch along because we're going to talk about candida or yeast infection. This happens even in men as you get, candida overgrowth on your tongue, in your gut. So you might be able to benefit, from the probiotic foods we'll be talking about in this video. But this video is focused on women's health, especially women that deal a lot with yeast infections. I'm going to be sharing with you how I make probiotic foods at home and how you can too. And this is super affordable and easy to follow along. Also sharing with you, some other tips to help with candida infection. Now, why should you listen to me? I'm not a medical professional. Neither am I a dietitian, but first of all, I'm a woman. And secondly, I've been doing this for like a year now. And I can tell you, no infection, I'm all good. And if there's anything you're going to take out of this video is honestly approaching this from a holistic point of view, because this is something I want you to be able to incorporate in your daily diet. Now, this is not for everyone, but I'm pretty sure you might find this helpful if you're open to it. Hola. Hello and welcome back. If you're just seeing this hot chocolate for the first time, hey, this is Tunola. Right here I share valuable content, so if you like the vibe, consider subscribing down below. All right, so how do you make your probiotic foods at home? The focus of this video is going to be on how to make kefirs, but before I jump into how to make kefirs, let's talk generally about probiotic foods, just to have a little bit more idea about why you should be taking this, and we can talk about how to make it. First of all, when it comes to probiotic foods, it's very important for you to incorporate probiotics into your daily diet because it will help your immune system. Probiotics is basically live bacteria, and these are good bacteria that your gut needs. We have good and bad bacteria, and when it comes to candida or yeast infection, candida overgrowth occurs when your immune system is low, when the good bacteria in your immune system is low. So that's why we always want to keep the good bacteria up and reduce the bad bacteria. It's all about balance. So like I said, we all have candida, but to keep it down is what we want to achieve by increasing the good bacteria. That's why probiotics come into the mix, because probiotics are the good bacteria. And then we have prebiotics, which the probiotics will feed on. So prebiotics is the food for the probiotics, and that comes from things like your leafy vegetables, your apples, your fruits. You can always get prebiotics from that. So for your probiotics, you can get it from common foods like miso, kimchi, your fermented vegetables, pickles, kefir, yogurts. These are common foods that you can get probiotics from. You can also get probiotics from other fermented ethnic fruits that I'm not going to touch on in this video. Why should you take probiotic diets if you can get a probiotic supplement? Well, you can as well get a probiotic supplement and use it, especially if your doctor recommends that. But you want to make sure that you're getting a very good probiotic supplement from a good brand, like 100 billion units, which is not cheap, especially in this economy. So to be more practical for those that can't keep buying probiotic supplements every single month, or just don't even fancy taking supplements in general, that is why you're going to benefit from this video. This video is not a quick overnight fix. This is something you'll have to do over time and you start seeing the results. It's a holistic approach, so it's going to take you a couple of weeks to start seeing the benefits of taking these probiotic foods. There are also other foods that you can take to help you, with your gut health in general, and to help with your vaginal health. We're talking foods like clove, like your coconut water, your coconut oil. Those have antifungal properties aside other benefits that they present with. We also have things like apple cider vinegar, very, very good for you. So when it comes to buying probiotic foods from the, stores, you can always get things like kombucha, fermented foods. But one thing you want to pay attention to is how it's made. So for example, if you're getting a kombucha from a brand that has a lot of sugar in it, then you should know that is not a good kombucha brand. So switch to something that doesn't taste sugary, because good kombuchas shouldn't taste sugary. Now with things like fermented foods, there are different types of like pickled fruits and vegetables. For example, if you're taking pickles from apple cider vinegar, that's not fermented, so it doesn't really have the bacteria in it. But if you're getting one that's actually fermented, that one would have the live bacteria in it. So you want to pay attention to like those differences when you're shopping around for fermented foods as well. So let's get into the meat of this video, which is kefirs and yogurts. So kefir specifically is what I've been taking, and the reason why I take a lot of kefir is because it has more benefits than yogurt. For example, if you are lactose intolerant, you're going to benefit more from taking kefirs than yogurt, especially dairy kefirs and yogurts. We have non-dairy products that you can definitely buy from the stores or make yourself. But with dairy products, you want to go for kefirs instead of yogurt if you're lactose intolerant. Because with kefir, the process of fermentation actually reduces, is it the lactase or something? I'm going to avoid using a lot of medical terms in this video because I want to keep it as simple and beginner friendly as possible. But kefir is more tolerable to those who are lactose intolerant than yogurt. Also, kefir has more bacteria in them than yogurt based on how it's made. So according to an article from Healthline, it says kefir contains 3 times more probiotics than yogurt, and it has around 12 live and active cultures and 15 to 20 billion colony forming units, while yogurt only has 5 active cultures and 6 billion CFUs. So as you can see, kefirs definitely have more benefits to your overall health than yogurt does, but they are both good and you can incorporate them into your diet. So if you want to shop for kefirs and yogurts, especially the ones you want to start using at home to make subsequent ones, you want to make sure you're going for something that is plain with no added sugar in it. You have to look through the ingredient list, and it's also important that you get from a brand that actually says they have live bacteria on the package, because some of them doesn't say that and it's like it tastes so sugary, it doesn't even taste like a real yogurt. So what I do basically is that I make kefir at home from a starter pack. Sometimes I would make it from a kefir brand that I really like, and I get it from Walmart. I'm gonna put a picture right here. But if you can't get this kefir from Walmart, or you want to make something fresh for yourself, which I also encourage, you can get a kefir starter pack. I get this one from Amazon and it's the one I've been using. The kefir starter pack comes in a powder form and it also comes in a grain form. As a newbie, a total beginner, you can go for the powder one because that is so much easier, but I think it has less bacteria than the grains. It also runs out faster than the grains. The grains are like you can use it for a very long time. The starter pack comes as 4-in-1, so you're going to use it for just a few couple of months. But the good thing about making kefirs by yourself at home or even using the starter pack is that you are going to be able to make a lot of batch of kefir. For example, I have this kefir right here in my fridge, and this is going to last me at least a week. So I make kefirs every single week and I have a lot of that. How do you make kefirs? You're going to take the starter pack. I've made a short about this and I'm going to put the video right here. So you're basically going to add milk. You want to use like whole milk. If you can't get whole milk, because a lot of stores around don't have whole milk, they mostly have like pasteurized milk, homogenized milk. So you can get homogenized milk of about 3.25%, you know, just get any fresh whole milk or close to whole milk as much as you can and use it. You shouldn't be using skim milk. You shouldn't be using the condensed milk, the ones with a lot of sugar in them. No, or even evaporated milk. That's not what you want. You want something that is close to the natural milk form because that is what is going to have a lot of bacteria in it. So you take your powdered kefir or plain kefir which you got from the store and add that together, mix it in a clean bowl and keep it in a warm place for about 2 to 3 days. By the 3rd day, you're going to see that it's fully formed as kefir, it's sour, and that is basically it. It's that simple to make kefir. You need to use a good kefir starter pack or a good kefir from the store because that bacteria, you're going to be using it in subsequent kefirs that you're making, right? And you also need to make sure that you do not keep it out for too long. So the longer you keep it out, the more sour it gets, the more fermented it gets. When you have your kefir, you can have this in your fridge fresh for 2 weeks. I usually renew this every week or 3 times a month. So it's that easy to make. Once again, you want to make sure you're doing this in a clean environment, and when you're making your kefir, do not close it up like this because you're going to kill off the bacteria. You need to use a cheesecloth to cover it or something that is breathable to cover it. and that way there's still air coming into the kefir because the bacteria still needs to live, right? But when you close it up like this, it's going to stop the fermentation process and you can keep it in the fridge. Don't worry, the bacteria will still be alive. That is how you make your kefir. And the great thing about making kefirs this way is that you can actually reuse this. So what I do is from this jar, I'm gonna take just like quarter of this and make another batch of kefir like this, repeating the same process of milk plus kefir. That's it. So when you have your starter pack, you'll find out that you actually don't quickly run out of it because you are reusing this. So it's going to take a couple of months for you to run out of your starter pack. So it's so worth it and it's super affordable, guys. Like kefirs are not that expensive if you can easily make yours like this. Now, if you notice that there's a lot of mold on top of it, you can scrape off the mold, or if it smells really bad, you can just discard that set of kefir. The great thing about using kefir starter pack, the powdered form, versus using the kefirs from the store is you can actually use the starter powder for other non-dairy products. I'm talking like your coconut milk, your coconut water, even just normal water, or even other juice. Yes, you can literally make kefir out of any drink like that, which is really, really cool to think about because the starter pack has the bacteria, it has the culture in it, right? Anyway, I don't want to keep this video too long or complex. I just wanted to do like a beginner friendly probiotic food kefirs that you can actually take at home and how to make them, take them and store them at home. That way you don't run out of kefir. That way you're giving your body the right nutrients every single time. Kefirs can be used in a lot of recipes, guys. If you want a video on that, let me know. Like a lot of recipes. One of my favorite things I use this for is cottage cheese. I make cottage cheese out of kefir. Another thing I use it for is in my smoothies. Honestly, I use this in almost everything. So yeah, if you want a video on that, let me know. This video was actually inspired by one of your comments. Diana wanted a probiotic food video, so I hope I was able to deliver that in this video. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share with someone that you think might find it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. In the meantime, keep shining. Thank you for watching. Bye. Check out this video.